Let me ask you, what happened with this Castlevania script that everyone...
How did you hear about Castlevania?
Yeah.
How did you know about that
I heard you were doing an adaptation of the video game Castlevania.
Yeah, we did. I've done many adaptations, and how I got involved with that, I don't know. I don't remember, but I've done
pays the bill.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. I did multiple versions of that.
And is that ever going to see the light of day?
One day with a different crew of people, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm not really a video game guy at all. I played the game in its really rudimentary form, and it was something that came at me, and it was appealing. It was going to pay some bills. It was appealing from that point of view, but also it was appealing because it was just completely alien to anything I'd ever tried to write. I'd never tried to do anything like that. Sort of a little, not exactly light, but a little bit not based in gritty reality. And all the stuff I'm doing for myself, Mad Dog is the thing I want to direct for myself. It's all like right on the track with the gray. That's where I live. It better feel real, or I get very nervous. But to do something that was just completely, a different universe was, that was kind of appealing. And the guy, when I first was involved, it was Rogues, Andrew Rona, and Alex Heineman, two extremely insightful, groovy, smart producers, executives, and they had a really good handle on it. And they had Sylvan White, who made one film called The Losers, which wasn't received so well, but had made Stomp the Yard previously, and they sent me Stomp the Yard. They told me about Sylvan. He hadn't made The Losers yet. And they sent me Stomp the Yard. And I watched this thing, and I called him up. I think I probably had the first coffee meeting with him first, and I hadn't actually seen the thing. But I saw the thing, and I said, I think I'd rather stick needles in my eyes than watch a dance movie. But somehow he made a very, to me, that was a very engaging, very, he cut it incredibly well. He shot it incredibly well. He cut it incredibly well. He caught the sort of, it's a fairly slight story, but he told a great story. I think Sylvan's a great director, and The Losers does not.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan killed it in The Losers.
Yeah, he's great in it. Yeah, I mean, that's a great movie. But anyway, Sylvan and we jumped in together from the get-go, on Castlevania. And Sylvan's visual imagination is... have you read the script? Have you seen it?
For Castlevania? No.
Yeah, his visual imagination is...
I heard about it, and I'm like, what?
It's ridiculous. He's one of them... And my grandfather was a painter. My dad was, after he was a commando, became a photographer. It's interesting. That's normally... That's what you do, right?
Yeah.
You become a commando, then you become a photographer. But, I care about visual things, and I made my first films when I was 8 years old, and cutting things with his old Bolexes and stuff. So, I mean, I care visually, and Sylvan, I think, is of the guys I worked with one of the most visually inventive dudes, and we had a ball. I mean, the script we originally did on that was just a blast. It was hilarious. It wasn't intended to be hilarious, but it was just hilarious adventure, and we had a. I
think that movie could work. I'm shocked that shocked that the project's not going.
There were many voices. Many voices in that one.
It sounds though like a big studio film.
It was the strike hit it. The strike killed it. It was
it was during that.
I handed in my first draft midnight. It was, if I'd gone another minute, I literally handed in. But a minute later, it would have been an illegal draft. I literally gave them my last draft at 11:59 or whatever, and then I wasn't legally allowed to do anything beyond that to develop it for actors or anything. So the studio, it was Rogue and Universal. They could have greenlit it, but they would have been greenlighting what I was told.
So much.
It was a $60 million first draft.
Yeah, probably.
And I'm the world's greatest writer, and my first draft of anything is ready to shoot the next morning.
Yeah.
But I can understand that for $60 million, they were timid. They wanted to wait. They waited to strike out, and then other pieces of whatever it was, other pieces of financing partnership didn't. And then that's during that waiting period, other voices began to creep in, like, well, I don't know if Sylvan's take is really the take, and to me it was. I mean, I love Sylvan's a great dude. And that was a fun version, and I dug that version. Then it went to sleep for a while. I think some other people kicked it around, and then I got a call literally 3 years later that James Wan is doing it.
doing the Castlevania.
Yeah, he's doing Castlevania. Do I want to write another version? And it's like, okay, cool, I'll just come in and we'll update it. We'll go. But James, being James, he doesn't want to do Sylvan's version. He wants to do James' version. So James had a completely different version. And
you want to do a totally different movie.
Well, it was just, it was like, it's bad enough to rewrite yourself, but to rewrite yourself and do something that's just got nothing to do with the first thing you did, it was sort of a strange experience. And then, but that said, James' take was also great, and I love James. We had a blast doing that one. But then in that, it had fallen out of Universal, fallen out of Rogue, and by that point it fell into a legal nightmare that had nothing to do with James or me, and had everything to do with where the producers were on the rights and the guild. It just got into a situation where literally my lawyers and the guild made me stop working on it. Yeah, which was another fun situation.
They killed a lot of projects.
Castlevania's cursed. Every time I started getting that movie going somewhere, someone legally told me, someone in a legal voice told me to stop working on it.